Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this world, and thank you guys so much for tuning in for another video of DIY investing. The markets have been rejected super hard and it's causing a lot of blood and panic throughout the markets. This is the time when there's a lot of fear and a lot of people are really wondering what they should be doing with their investments. This is a time where I'm personally looking to be buying and averaging into my positions that I've already accumulated. And so today we're going to be going through and I'm going to be analyzing with you guys two altcoins that I plan to be actively accumulating in this dip. And then we're also going to be looking at the total market cap of altcoins so that we have a full round understanding of what to expect moving forward. If you guys are new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Make sure you guys click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos like the one provided for you here. I also offer a video course and signals, so if you guys are looking to follow off of some educational content that can actually teach you guys all of the same strategies that I use to profit inside of cryptocurrency, or you'd like to join a community where you can actually copy my own portfolio and follow all of the trades that I'm actively taking, you guys are definitely going to want to join the Discord. All you're going to have to do is click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Once you're on here, all you have to do is message me. You guys can message me about the course, you can message me about the signals, or you can just ask me any sort of questions you have, and I will get back to you guys as soon as possible. There's a lot of really cool things on the board today, so let's not waste any more time, and let's jump right into this video today. Alright guys, so here we are. First we're going to be taking a look at the altcoin market cap, and then we're going to be diving into the two altcoins that I'm really excited for and I'm actually going to be actively accumulating. Now, the altcoin market cap is obviously the nicest thing to start with because this is kind of the average data of all of the altcoins. And so if we know what way this chart is going, then we can pretty confidently say that we know what way the rest of the market is going. Now, taking a look here, we can see that from the new year, we basically had our first real rise out of these early lows in December. So that was a really good sign. That was what I wanted to see. Obviously, if we would have kept going lower, it would have looked bearish and we probably would have gone for new lows. But we actually got that impulse that we were looking for. And so as of right now, we've already started this new bull impulse. Right now, we're just correcting from such a big move because that was a big move in this one little go. I mean, if you guys remember back in 2019 when we watched Bitcoin go from, $3,200 to 14K, this was the move that the altcoins made, really. And it was a pretty slow, gradual increase. It was nothing very crazy. There was some profits to be made, but nothing insane. And then we can see that, we basically went the same length as far as low to high, but this one happened in about half the time, if that. It could be even faster than that. And so that leads me to believe that this new impulse has definitely started. There's a lot of new money entering this market. And so we really shouldn't be worried with more downside. I think the biggest thing that we should worry about is finding where this bottom of the retrace is going to be. And so if we go through here, let's actually analyze kind of what I'm thinking. Let's actually draw some Fibonacci so that we can see the Fibonacci relationship. Now, what we see here, we have the 382 that we're just about to cross into, and then we have the 618 down here. Now, I'm not going to personally base my analysis on an exact level on the Fibonacci, but in fact, I'm actually going to draw it up here a little bit higher. I think that this will be about the average point of this retrace bottom. I think it's a little bit likely that we're going to drop down a little bit further. We probably end up coming down to about here. And then this is probably where I would be looking to scale in the bulk of my positions. Once I saw us come back down into this range, that's where I would be looking to scale in the most of my positions. And so that's probably how I'm going to be playing this market over the next couple weeks. It's my personal opinion that this next month is going to be us mainly correcting. Probably towards the end of March, we're going to start seeing that next impulse taking place. But for me, it's much more realistic that the next month is going to be a time for me to actually accumulate the markets because I am expecting that these are going to continue to kind of sell off from here. And so right now, I think that we have an excellent opportunity to be going at the markets, scaling into positions. If you were somebody that didn't really accumulate a whole lot in this dip, now's your opportunity to actually reaccumulate this impulse because it's my personal opinion that the next impulses coming are going to be pretty big. I think that this is really just a one wave. We'll come back down, retest this support box, and then I believe that we'll get a three wave, we'll break out of the cycle high, and then we'll keep impulsing further on in the cycle. And that's kind of what I'm expecting to have happen. It's probably, as far as the total market cap goes for the altcoins, I think that there's a definite possibility that we could reach all the way up here. I think that would come out to about 300 billion in market cap. And so I think that would be a really nice run that we could see shortly after we find support here. And so that's kind of what I'm going to be watching out for. Now, it doesn't really matter how high we go, but really the most important thing is that we do break out of this cycle. And so if we can actually break out of the cycle high at about $145 billion, then that's going to confirm a trend change and a reversal of this entire downtrend. And I've been updating you guys with that for a while now, but I think that we're actually starting those early moves to actually make that happen. Really, we're just going to have to come back down, find support, and then I think that should set the stage for the next breakout of that cycle high. And so we need to be aware of what's taking place, because I don't really think we're going to find too many really good buying opportunities. The fact that we're still within the previous cycle high and we're selling back down to kind of that mid-average, I think that you're not going to find a whole lot of better buying opportunities than what we're given right now. Now, let's actually dive into the altcoins that I'm actively accumulating and will be looking to scale into new positions. First up on the list is obviously Tasos. Tasos was my biggest winner of 2020 thus far. It's been my biggest performing altcoin. It's also one of my bigger altcoin positions in general. And so I've actually done a lot of accumulation with this one. I accumulated quite a bit here in this dip. Now from Tasos, let's talk about kind of where we bought. With Tasos, I bought my first position here at $1.11. Let's make these green. I bought my second position up here at $1.23. So about right here. And then I accumulated my third position at $1.36. So about right there. And so I got an average entry price of $1.23, which is about right here. And so for me, guys, I got in a really, really good entry. I got in at a cheap entry. I have a significant position size in this altcoin. And so the fact that I'm already in so much profit and we actually performed so good to start off that new year is actually the reason why I'm confident in adding to my position. Now, that's something to keep a note of when you are investing inside of the cryptocurrency market. If ever you have a really good performing altcoin and it kind of follows your trading plan as followed. I mean, for me personally, when we were back down in here, I thought that this was a really good setup because this was just a one wave. Then when we broke out and got our first impulse right here, I knew that we were about to start impulsing very soon, so I added pretty heavily in this time. And then from there, we actually did get that major impulse, and so I was able to make a lot of money. Now, this is just kind of a way that I trade if I ever have a really good trade that starts performing really well. Now, obviously speaking, it really is important that you guys know how to trade, you know technical analysis, and you have your own trading plan, because you might buy something and it might go up in a lot of value, and you might think that, okay, it's going up in value, I'll just add to that position. Only the problem is a lot of the times it'll crash and then, start collapsing around you. And so it really is hard to know exactly when it's a good time to average back into a winning trade and when it's actually good to take profits and move on. And so for me, from the very beginning, Tasos was a long-term hold for me. I have yet to take any profits, and I don't plan on doing so for at least a year from my primary bids. And so for me, I'm holding the long term, most likely holding till roughly the end of 2021. And so any dip that we get is just a buying opportunity. And that's the way I've structured my portfolio. If I do, with like shorter term trades, smaller trades that I take with small position sizing, I'll take all of my profits. Maybe I'll keep 10% for like a moon bag that'll just ride. But overall, the only time that I'm ever adding to my positions is when it is actually part of my long-term portfolio. And Tasos is one of the altcoins part of my long-term portfolio that I do want to add to my position. And so let's go through here and kind of see some levels that I'm watching. Let's drop it to a log scale so it's a little bit easier to see. Now, this one has just entered price discovery. Now, one thing that we're looking at here is we have all of this price history previously. Something to keep a note of is I've actually looked into a little bit, and this price history from previous market cycles was actually from some scammy manipulation that was taking place on HitBTC. Now, I don't know the full range details, but basically they were just printing these fake IOUs using Tasos, and they were basically just pumping the price. And so they didn't even have withdrawals, that you couldn't even sell your Tasos at the time of this. And so this price history up to this point really doesn't matter a whole lot. And so if you look at most exchanges on Tasos, really all you're going to see is about this much. And really all that is kind of a sell-off, and then our first impulse. And from that, we're actually breaking out. And so none of this stuff really matters a whole lot as far as what the price was at the all-time high, because a lot of this is just wash trading that really doesn't mean a whole lot. And so if you actually take a look at most of the exchanges out there that use or that host Tasos, you're going to see that most of the charts look like this. We have a sell-off, and then we start our first impulse, and that's really where we're at today. And so taking a look here, I honestly think that this is going to be a really strong support level. I really don't find it likely in the slightest that we end up dropping all the way back down to here. This was kind of the previous cycle high before we broke out in this impulse, and I don't find it likely in the slightest that we're actually going to come back down and retest that. That would be at about $1.83. My next support level is $2.50, and so I'm actually going to be looking to accumulate a pretty decent position size at this range. Now, for me, it makes a whole lot of sense to accumulate this zone because this is about, we have such a strong area of demand here. Cycle high, impulse, find support at this area. Now, even though I just said that none of this price really matters, you're still going to be able to find areas of value, and we can see here that we've had a lot of reactions at this level. We've rejected as resistance, we've held here as support, and that's pretty much been a major area inside of this market cycle. And so for me, I think that it's going to be likely that I'll accumulate this dip and buy at that level. Now, if we look at Fibonacci, kind of see where we're at as far as this cycle goes, we crossed through the 382, and so the 618 would actually put us a little bit lower. The 618 is going to take us to about $2.50. And so that's something else to keep note of. Really, we won't break bull market structure unless we started crossing below that 618, and then that would make me a little bit more skeptical. But even then, really all we're seeing right now based off of Elliott wave theory is a 1 impulse. We finished the 3 impulse, and now we're just looking for support. Is that support going to come here? We're going to drop down a little bit lower. Technically, we can drop all the way back down to this level down here, and until we actually break, until the 4-wave retrace, so this is Elliott wave theory, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the 4-wave. If the 4-wave retraces any point within the previous cycle high of the 1, then that's an invalidated wave count. And so that's why I don't want us to retrace all the way back down here. It would actually start to make the Elliott wave count a little bit less symmetrical. And so I would like to see us bottom up here a little bit higher at about $2.50. But really all this is a 1, 3, and then we still have another 5-wave impulse to come. That 5-wave impulse is most likely, by my guesstimation, going to take us to about $5, and we could even go much higher than that. And so that's just something to watch out for. Because I am expecting such a big impulse coming out of this retrace, that's actually why I'm planning on buying more Tasos. You really can't go wrong buying everybody else's fear. We're selling off significantly. I mean, from the cycle high in this retrace, we've already sold off pretty significantly, would be my guess. Yeah, about 30% thus far, with a little bit more downside still waiting to come, in my opinion. And so this is what I'm going to be watching out for. Watching for this level here. Obviously, as we retrace down, just scale into those positions. Don't worry so much about the downside risk, because in my opinion, the upside risk, the upside potential is way bigger. I mean, we finished a 1-wave. We're still working on the 3-wave. Once we finish the top of this, that'll finish our 3. And then we still have a whole nother 5-wave impulse still to come. And so really, guys, we're still very early in this market cycle. It's my biggest reason for not taking profits. It's why I'm going to continue to add to my position during the dips. Anytime I have a really good performing long-term bag, I'm always going to do my part to play the trend by adding to the dips when they do come. And so this is Tasos. Really, we still have a whole lot more upside to come. Wanted to update you with this because I'm actually going to be buying more. So stay tuned for this one. Now, last up on the list is going to be XRP on the dollar. XRP obviously has been one of my favorite altcoins. Updated you guys pretty consistently with this one, probably more consistently than any of the other ones that I hold. And the reason for that is just because I'm really excited about this one. I do believe in the use case that it has in the modern world. On top of that, aside from any tech or fundamental bull crap that I might try and feed you, really my biggest reason for liking this is because it's been a top performing altcoin. It's maintained top 5 status in market cap. Like I said, I do believe that it has a use case in society. And it's also, another bigger reason is actually because it's so undervalued compared to the rest of the altcoin market. The rest of the altcoin market, I mean, if we're comparing XRP to, the altcoin total market cap, we're going to see here that when we fell to the lows in December, XRP actually started going lower still. The lows of December were here. And then we, instead of really making an impulse and making a higher high, we actually made a lower low. And so XRP has made a little bit more of an ugly looking setup just based off of the fact the rest of the market showed strength and made a one wave and made a higher high. And the XRP chart made a lower low. And so really that shows a little bit more weakness in this chart. But my biggest reason for liking, but another reason for actually liking this was that fractal that I've been updating you guys with. And I do believe that that's going to play out, and that's why I am still so bullish on this. Now, even though we have made a lower low, just because we made a lower low and it shows a little bit more weakness compared to the rest of the market, I don't think that that necessarily means a whole lot. And in fact, we're still trading at 25 cents. Compared to the rest of the market, from where it's at to the all-time high is about 14x. And so you're not going to find too many altcoins out there that have maintained a top 5 status in market cap that have a higher risk to reward ratio than XRP. And that's actually another reason why I've really liked this one. Now, I'm actually going to be accumulating more XRP in this dip. I did a lot of accumulation inside of this dip already. My average bulk of entries, I bought at 30 cents. I bought at 25 cents. So, right there approximately. And then I bought a lot at 20 cents again. 20 cents was the bulk of my entry. And so I actually ended up accumulating a really small amount up here at about 38 cents, but it's not small. It's not a big enough amount that it really changes my average entry price. But my average entry price was here at about 25 cents, and that's actually roughly where price is at currently. I'm expecting price to come back down, retest the previous support right here, and then form an inverse head and shoulder formation. Really, the inverse head and shoulder formation isn't what's important. What's important is we have this resistance here. If we can clear outside of this resistance at about 34 cents, then that's actually going to confirm the reversal. Because basically what we've had up to this point in this entire consolidation, let's drop to a log scale, is we have lower lows and lower highs. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Didn't make a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And now we've made, technically we do have the market structure for a potential for a higher high right now. And that's what's forming. Really, we had an impulse. We came back up to, this 34 cent floor approximately. And now we've just kind of been selling off from that. But really, guys, this is a strong support level that I expect to hold. I don't think that we're actually going to fall to new lows. And that's why I'm actually going to be actively accumulating more XRP. I actually think that this is a strong potential for an inverse head and shoulder. The volume profile actually lines up with this reversal pattern nicely. Basically what we see here is a pretty symmetrical volume profile. You get a lot of volume inside of this head, and then you get a lot of volume in the right shoulder. Now really this left shoulder isn't that important. It's not very symmetrical with this pattern, but with an inverse head and shoulder, you want this right shoulder to have a lot of volume, and you usually want this volume to line up more symmetrical with the head and shoulder. Really, we would have liked to see a little bit more volume come up here, but it doesn't always happen. Now, for me, we do get enough of the volume. We see a lot of volume forming in this right shoulder, and you want that to happen because it's the right shoulder that's going to break out of the neckline, or what this red line is up here at 34 cents. And so it would only make sense that in order to get that breakout and get that confirmed trend reversal, there would be a lot of volume coming into this right shoulder. And that's exactly what's taking place currently inside of XRP. And that's why it's on my radar. Now, for me, guys, XRP had a pretty decent impulse compared to the rest of the market, start of 2020. I only expect this to continue to perform very well with the rest of the market. Now, my long-term holdings in order are Ethereum, Bitcoin, Tasos, and then XRP. And so I think that with adding to my XRP positions, it's only going to continue to strengthen my portfolio, because what I found thus far with my portfolio is the fact that as one goes up, another one might go down for a short while, but then they kind of reverse places. And so it doesn't really feel like I'm losing a whole lot of money, because my investments are hedged together in a really good way to where they really help balance out my portfolio. When one dumps, another one goes up. When that one dumps, another one goes up. And so I've really had a lot of success with trading these long-term bags. And so I want to actually add to my XRP position just because I do expect this one to continue to perform well. Now, realistically, guys, we just have to clear outside of, we have like a couple descending resistances that I'm watching. If we can hold support here at roughly 24 to 20, I would say 23 to 24 cents. That's where I would look to accumulate. If we can hold support in that range, then I'm going to be watching for a retest of the previous resistance, which will be at about 34 cents. If we break out of the neckline of 34 cents, that's also going to coexist pretty nicely with this descending resistance. But honestly, guys, if we can break outside of this neckline, we're pretty much just going to break out of that descending resistance anyways. And I think that that's going to set us up for another higher high, close to about 50 cents. If we break outside of this inverse head and shoulder, it's going to set us up for a pretty decent rally upwards of 50 cents, because if we measure from the neckline to the base of the head, oops, and let's pull it up. Let's see what our target would be. Target would be 50 cents. So that's what I'm going to be watching out for with XRP. Realistically, guys, I think that we have a lot of really strong impulses still to come. As long as we can break out of 34 cents, it's going to set us up for a high of 50 cents. And that's going to be the confirmed trend reversal before we start a brand new uptrend in its place. And so you guys should really keep these ones on your radar. Buying more Tasos. Buying more XRP at these lower levels. Took a look at the altcoin market cap. I think we have a little bit more downside to come. But overall, we've pretty much completed the retrace. I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to continue to add to my positions. I'm going to continue to add during the fearful times of the market, because I know that that's the time where the best times to be buying are. You're going to make the most amount of money in those times. You're going to be able to set yourself up with the least amount of risk. And it's also the point where everybody's the most fearful. So make sure you guys do your due diligence, accumulate this dip, accumulate the fear. Don't worry about everybody else. Just stick to your own plan and trade it. All right, guys, that was the video I had for you. If you found any value in this, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing. Click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new updates like the one provided for you here. If you guys want access to my video course or my signals, all you got to do is click the invitation link in the description of this video, and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Once you have access, just message me on there, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. But with all that being said, this is the video I had. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next video. As always, peace out.